Yeah, just if you can share with us what you're having done and what your timeline would look like for being on the shelf.
What am I having done? I'm having a lot done. Both adductors on each hip, 2 torn lower abdominal muscles done, and 2 hernias.
And timeline-wise, what's your...
We'll see.
Yeah. So conventional wisdom might be season ends, you need surgery, have it, and then maybe you're back sooner. I know that's not necessarily the way it always goes. Can you just explain the process of figuring out what needed to be done and why it's at this point now?
Yeah, I think some people call it conventional wisdom. I don't know if those people have ever had surgery or been professional athletes, but...
I haven't.
Yeah. Not saying that it's you, but I think, obviously after going to the last possible day of the NHL season and trying to figure out how I was going to proceed in the offseason, obviously I think everybody agreed we wanted to see how things looked after we took some time off to see if anything settled down, if anything could be rehabbed. I know there were some people that believed that we could possibly get better through rehab. That ended up not being the case, and then you kind of start due diligence process and trying to find the best surgeon and surgeons out there to do what they do, and hearing from them. And I think for me that was very important because this is a big undertaking and an injury, and for me something that I want to get fixed once, get fixed correctly, and continue my playing career. So, there was some confusion throughout the offseason in terms of how we were going to fix some of these injuries, and different doctors obviously had different opinions, and just continuing to do my due diligence and asking questions, and also talking to many other players around the league that have had maybe not the exact same injury but similar injuries, or have also had work done by those surgeons as well. So there was a process that needed to take place to make sure that I was doing the right thing and that I felt comfortable. So we've gotten there, and looking forward to getting back healthy.
Evander, I know you try to gut it out as long as you could last year in the playoffs. I was just wondering, take us back to when it first kind of the sports hernia developed, and then when you felt that how you could manage it throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I first, I think I've said this before, felt something was wrong in late October. Noticed something, and just kind of slowly got worse over time. Probably in December, January-ish. It was getting much worse, and but at the same time, it was. The thing with this injury, it's some days, you feel better than others. And obviously in the playoffs, by the time we got around to that, it wasn't any better. It was getting severely worse. And, at the same time, you're just trying to do everything you can because you want to give yourself and your teammates the best opportunity to win. So that's all I tried to do.
So, and just for confirming, it's the sports hernia injury that you're getting surgery for, right?
Yeah, so I mean, a sports hernia is it's a bunch of different injuries, and I just kind of laid out what those were. So 2 adductor tears, 2 abdominal tears, and 2 hernias. So, yeah.
Do you feel like if you felt it in October, and then you played, and then played in the playoffs? Did all these things happen in October, or did they add up with you playing hockey and continuing to play?
What do you mean, did all these things happen in October?
Well, did you think in October, like you just listed off about 5 injuries, abductors and abdominal tears and 2 hernias. Did that happen in October, or is this a process of 6 months of playing hurt? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, it definitely, I mean, again, I felt something was off in October, something was wrong, but it definitely just progressed over time. I'd say probably, December, January, I could start to feel things getting worse and having different effects. But yeah, obviously we knew when the playoffs rolled around that it wasn't going to get any better, and that's why I took those last couple games of the regular season off, just to try to get myself an extra week of rest.
Management has handled their salary cap so that you are able to come back and join the team at any time whenever you're ready and whenever you're healthy. There's enough room in their cap system. What are your thoughts on it? Could this thing cost you an entire season?
That isn't, I don't have the GM title or the president of hockey operations, so that's not up to me, and that's not my decision. My decision and what my responsibility is to get healthy and come back at 100% and help this team win hockey games.
Yeah, no, I'm not asking you to manage the cap. What I'm saying is the team has managed the cap so that if you do get healthy, there's room for you to come back. There's no, right? They're counting on you being a player on this team. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm asking you, does the severity of this injury, is there a possibility you do miss the entire season? What do you think?
I certainly hope not, but I'm not going to put a timeline on myself. I'm a few days away from getting surgery here, so that would be a little premature to try to make those type of, or give you those type of answers at this moment.
Evander, can you explain what the last couple of years have been like for you? Unfortunately, since that wrist injury specifically and all the injuries that have piled up.
Yeah, I mean, injuries are part of the game. It's part of any, especially contact sport. I think, obviously, I've had the wrist injury was a freak accident that obviously, nobody wants to go through. But, again, this is something new I've never dealt with before. I've never had any hip issues or groin issues or core muscle injuries that have kept me out in my 15 years up until last year. So for me, I'm to be honest, I'm excited to get this fixed and get healthy. I'm really looking forward to feeling 100% for the first time in a while, whenever that day is, and getting back on the ice and doing what I know I can do.
Yeah, you were a dominant player when you first signed here for the end of that season and into the playoffs. Is there anything that you feel would prevent you from kind of getting back to that point again?
No, as far as from what I know heading into this, not at all.
Evander, in all your conversations with the doctors, you said it was confusion at times. They're having different opinions. So obviously you learned a lot about it. It's important. It's your body. You want to figure it out. In all of their opinions on a recovery, is there, will they fully know how severe it is until they actually go in and do the surgery?
My understanding is they have a good understanding of how the severity of the injury or the injuries, and we have a plan on how they're going to correct those. I think with the first part of your question, yeah, there was some confusion because different procedures have different timelines. So, that was one of the things, obviously, that I was also getting opinions on as well.
When you, this is obviously a big decision, so it's important why you would take your time to get what's right. What made you ultimately feel comfortable with the surgery and the surgeon you're opting to go with?
Well, after hearing, I heard from 3 different groups of doctors, and in talking to them, they all agreed on what the injuries were. There was never a debate about that. It was just how they would proceed with fixing them, and I just went with with the best group that I felt that would help my body. Everybody's different. I talked to other guys that have went with other doctors for the same injury, and they had their reasons. And I think it was, like you said, in talking to all those types of different people, you learn a lot about how they can fix these type of things and the different procedures. So for me, it was something that it took a little bit of time to digest. And like you said, I'm supposed to be talking to the best of the best, and they all have 3 different opinions. It can be a little confusing when you're not a surgeon yourself. So, it definitely helped talking to a couple of guys around the league, Sean Monahan being one of them, And, he was real insightful and gave me some good feedback from his experience.
When are you having the surgery, Evander? When are you having the surgery and where?
Would you like the address and the zip code?
Like, is it the Cleveland Clinic? Else does, or where is it?
No, I'll be having the surgery in the next couple of days. Yeah.
And when you were playing in the games in the playoffs, did you have to, I don't know, guard against certain things because you knew you were hurt in a certain area? Were there things that you said, "Oh, I can't go there," because that's going to hurt it even more?
No. No, I mean, the only time I probably felt that way was in the last game of the Dallas series, and I think the one shift I had in the second period where I was like, I think I need to probably get off the ice here. But that was probably it, I think. And even the Cup final games, I felt fine. We were doing what we needed to do to get me through them.
One last thing, did you try to talk the coaches into playing in the Stanley Cup final?
I'm not going to go there.